11:49. That was like 126 miles, I think. It's so cheap here. I love how cheap fuel is here. It's my favorite. But yeah, hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. And today we obviously just left the fuel station, and now we're going into Raleigh, actually, guided by how do you say it, Kalimoto, which I just turned on, to get to a mural. And the mural is a tribute to the Yaz giants of North Carolina, essentially. Oh, that is a cool car. A very cool car. But yeah, this mural we're going to, it's a tribute to the, I can't remember the artist's name, I'll check when we get there, but the likes of, you know, Nina Simone, who are obviously evidently from North Carolina. And yeah, you don't know what a mural is? A mural is a cool painting on a wall. And that's what we're going, looking at a mural. And while we're on the way there, I'm going to talk about obviously a couple of things. One of the things I want to talk about is, you know, someone asked me, why are you always wearing so much gear? There's two things. You might notice the last couple of videos I've been on my own, whereas up until now I've had Niall following me around the place, or me following him sometimes. I'm going to ignore it. I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. I know we can get to the road it's bringing me to this way, and I like riding through Clayton. But it's because it's extremely hot in North Carolina now. Like right now, my bike is reading 95 Fahrenheit, which I think is about 34 degrees Celsius, and it's nearly 6 p.m. So it's hot here, and it's humid here also. So, you know, that's why I've been on my own. You know, in more recent videos, just because, and I get it. I get why people don't want to ride in this weather. Obviously, for me, it's not just. I want to ride in this weather, I do, but also it's about maintaining my bikes. You know, if you don't ride them, they get sad and then they cry. I don't know if you've ever seen a bike cry, but it's not a pleasant experience. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing, is going to look at a mural and get the Z out, because I haven't been on the Z much recently, and you know, well, that's one of the things we'll talk about, because I still get asked about this bike a lot. You know, some people are asking me, well, am I going to do chain and sprockets because they want to see that covered? Am I going to do valve clearances because they want to see that covered? And there's another mural here, by the way, in Clayton. I think that one is also very cool. But we're not stopping at that one because it's too high up, so you can't get a picture of a bike in front of it. But yeah, anyway, back to the Z. So people ask about the Z a lot. And the reason I say I don't know in regards to the valves and chain and sprockets and stuff is I still don't know, should I keep this bike? I love riding it. I love looking at it. It's actually very comfortable for a tall person. And I have it, you know, dialed in to where kind of it needs to be from a suspension perspective for me. But the thing is, like, it's very fast, and it's also on the stiffer side because obviously I kind of tuned the suspension setup to work well for me on the track, which generally you want something like slightly more plush. It's nice having something that handles as sharply as this does, but also, you know, if I lived in the mountains, that would maybe make more sense. But around here, something a little bit more plush. So, you know, if I do decide to keep it long term, which again, figuring that one out, I might change the spring on the rear. I don't mind the more firm front end, but the rear is quite firm, and that's because I just resprung the original shock in the original shock. Like most OEM shocks, unfortunately, it's just not the best, you know, unless you get the Z900RS SE, which is obviously the one with the Öhlins. I think that's a really cool petrol station there. I wish more stuff still looked like that, you know? Why do we have to make everything look generic and boring? And actually, speaking about that term generic, that just reminded me, you know, I've said it before that making videos on YouTube, for some reason, I think to some people dehumanizes you. You know, I've been some truly terrible things have been said to me over the years, None of them have bothered me because generally they come from people who I assume are unhinged psychopaths. And, you know, I tend not to listen to someone who I consider an unhinged psychopath. I could name a few. But more recently, a username that I actually recognised because I'd seen their comments on the channel before. But they said that, you know, since I've moved over here, I'm just another generic American bike channel. And honestly, that is the closest I've ever come to being upset by a comment, is being called generic. Like, it's not even mean, but it's just like, generic? Jesus. That's like, oh yeah, you're just like a little freezer pizza. All right, thanks, bud. And then, you know, to top it off, the person said, you know, I don't mean in a bad way. There's no good way to call someone generic, you sausage. My God. Let's do a little. Yes. I'm actually feeling quite good today because we did a little hike earlier. And there's going to be the guy who commented on my short that time when I literally read out the name of a hiking trail, and it was called something hiking trail. And I was like, we're going to go walk around this hiking trail. And he was like, it's not a hike, you walked 2 kilometers, that's not a hike. Like, all right, get back under your bridge, troll man. I literally read the name of the thing. So today we did a hike. And it was 10 kilometers in the very hot, humid weather. And it was lovely. Reedy Creek, which is in Umstead Park, if you want to look it up. I love this bike. I do. Every time. And this is the problem. Yeah, but we'll get back to that. Umstead Park, very pretty. You should, if you live in North Carolina, you should go there, have a look. But yeah, that's the problem with this bike, is every time I'm like, I think I'm going to sell it, because there's a couple of things I'd really like to buy. I have long had a soft spot for the Moto Guzzi, and there's a Moto Guzzi for sale right now, and I'm not going to show you in case someone steals it, but before I made up my mind. Oh no, it's down there. Oh, it's a house. Boo. But it's a Moto Guzzi. My camera on straight? Yes, it is. Moto Guzzi, California. And the more I look at them, the more I kind of want one, because apparently they're great for tall riders. That's what the internet says, and we know the internet is always correct. But also it's kind of a more, I don't know, it just kind of lends itself more to a look of a cruiser that I would like, you know, kind of like the Valkyrie, and I'll get to the Valkyrie in a second. I've had many questions. But that's kind of the rock and the hard place I'm stuck between, because, you know, I could just sell the Valkyrie as a parts bike for someone else. And I'm not saying that won't happen. It might eventually happen if I get really fed up with trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with the electronics on it. But without selling the Valkyrie, I can't really get another bike. You know, not only space constraints, but it just doesn't make sense to have that many bikes. You know, I don't get to ride them enough as is. I don't get to ride them as much as I would like as is. I'll put it that way. Which obviously makes, you know, convincing myself to buy another one more difficult. And this is literally just me. Like, I would imagine most people in my life would be supportive if I was like, I think I want to buy another bike and I can conceivably afford it. You know, they'd probably all be pretty supportive, but you know, and you know, another part of the Moto Guzzi thing is the California, you know, Moto Guzzi don't make stuff like that anymore. So the California is a bike that's probably going to pique more interest than less going forward, just because it is a bike that, you know, you can no longer get, which is a pity, by the way. Oops, I indicated way too early there. Calimoto has made me think it was coming up soon, but it wasn't. Oh, I think I need to tighten the chain on this. Let's do it. Ah, wonderful. But yeah, that's partly why it interests me so much as well, is just because it's, you know, it's no longer available. And I think anything that's no longer available, it's not only more interesting for me, but it's more interesting for other people too, right? by its nature. It's like, oh well, that's something that I don't see all the time, and I can't get one, and you know, that's what interests me about it. I don't see them all the time. Actually, I've seen a California once in person, and it did it. I mean, it piqued my interest. I was like, that is a very, very pretty bike. Because they are. I mean, it's Moto Guzzi, right? Moto Guzzi very rarely make ugly bikes, and in my opinion, obviously beauty is in the eye of the beholder and all that. But I think they're gorgeous, and I don't know why I don't come this way more often. As an aside, I probably should, because there's more murals I want to bring you to. I'm going to do one a video. You know, I'm going to edge everyone. I'm not just going to give you that crescendo immediately. You're going to have to get one mural per video. And obviously between my house and Raleigh there is not that many selection. There's not that wide an array of roads to select from. So you know, you're probably going to see this road more, maybe. Who knows? Ooh. Oh, tiny, barely a corner. Nice. Hello. Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to edge everyone. I'm not sorry. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you need to learn to wait for the good things in life, you know. I'll get to go to the murals one by one, and it'll give me a reason to take this bike out and maybe keep it longer, because that's what this bike for me right now excels at, is the shorter hops. You know, I did put my tail bag back on this one so I could have some water, because it's important to stay hydrated in this type of weather. And I will say as well, you know, another question I've had is, you know, like I said, why I dress up even in the heat. I even have my itchy boots neckerchief on, and that's because, you know, a lot of people think the more skin you have on show, you know, the cooler you'll be. But in my experience, and also from lots of other people's experience, that giant burning ball of gas up there staring down at you, the more of you that it can see, the hotter you're going to get, right? Because as far as I remember, that's radiation heat, right? Through a vacuum, it has to radiate. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's right? It's radiation. Someone correct me. Someone who's more good at sun, correct me in the comments if it's not radiative heat. And one of the people who I listened to a great deal on that years ago is Paddy Outback, when he was still making videos frequently. He did a really, honestly, bloody impressive spin. You know, and I've often commented on it that, you know, $1 Million Bogan, if you know who $1 Million Bogan is, when $1 Million Bogan still rode bikes before he switched to boats, he did actually a very similar ride to Paddy Outback. And he made it look like he was dying every day and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Paddy got, you know, nice and covered up, and Paddy also suffers from MS. And, you know, a nice little fun addition to MS, considering Paddy Outback lives in Australia, is it can, you know, heat can affect it. So you want to keep yourself cool. You don't want to get too hot or whatever, because it can allegedly make it worse. And obviously I don't have MS. I'm not a doctor, so take everything I say with a pinch of salt. These are the things I've read online. But yeah, he did that ride in the middle of summer in Australia, or maybe not the middle of summer. Middle of summer, most places on Earth, it would still be colder than it was for him. It was hot. And he stayed covered up, drank lots of water, took lots of breaks, and he was absolutely fine. He made it look easy, right? So that's obviously where I took a lot of inspiration from. I now live in a very hot country in the summer. When it's the summer, it's hot. I should say state. Basically all the states in America are countries for us Europeans. So I live in a very hot state in the summer. And that's obviously, as an Irish fella, and our top temperature ever didn't even reach what it got to today here when we were hiking. So, you know, you take the advice where you can get it, so that you're less inclined to get heat stroke, because that's what you're trying to avoid, right? Is heat stroke. So yeah, that's a very long-winded answer to why I cover up, is because it makes sense. You know, I don't want to get sunburnt. I don't want to get heat stroke. I try to keep myself as cool as possible. So ventilated jacket, lots of vents open, and while I'm moving, I'm fine. Anywho, so yeah, the mural concept. I've been trying to figure out a way to show you all more of around where I live, without it being boring. Because you know, I used to do like points of interest and stuff in Ireland, and points of interest in Ireland are oh, that's a bump. There we go. Points of interest in Ireland are easy because Ireland has thousands of years of stuff just littered about the place. So it's like, I want to go here so I can get to ride on that road. I'll stop there and you know, talk about it so it's somewhat interesting, right? I'll try to learn more about the history of the mural so I can actually tell you better. But for now, you're just going to have to trust me that it's, you know, in honor of the jazz icons of North Carolina. Like I said, when I stop, I will whip out my phone and read out the artist's name, because obviously the artist deserves a shout out. Get off your phone. Look at that. Look at that. Taking a left turn, texting. What a moron. Absolute moron. The amount of people who are brain dead these days on their phones is genuinely astounding. Like, I wish I could say I was surprised, but I wish it was just like, I wish it was a video even that showed people how stupid they look. Driving a several ton vehicle that could, you know, wipe out several people all at once if they made a mistake, and they're just there like with their phone shoved in front of their face looking like an absolute watermelon. People, humans, we suck sometimes. Some people don't. Go. This person sucks. Now, because I'm on a bike, I'm probably going to get stuck here literally forever. So I might end up... Oh no, I hope everyone's okay. I'm probably going to have to do a little running of this. There is the dead red law in North Carolina. So if you sit too long at a red light, you can just go. Because honestly, if you're gonna sit and just cook in the sun, my advice would be just don't do it. It's always like, I would rather have a conversation with a cop and just hope you get a reasonable one who understands why you didn't want to sit out in, you know, 90 plus degree heat, Fahrenheit heat, so 30 plus degrees Celsius heat, baking. I would rather move. Usually if you get a car and you can, you know, the car comes up near you, you know, that's fine. Ooh, that's lots of glass. Like obviously this car, it'll pick up this car, so I'll be fine here. But yeah, I just wouldn't advise sitting at lights. You know, if you're making a maneuver, just do it safely. And obviously, if you're going to do it in a state, I would recommend checking: is there a dead red law? And those laws exist because you know there's an awareness that they don't always pick up motorcycles. Obviously. We're in Raleigh now, by the way. I don't think I've ever really brought you in here. This is actually over there. Those tall buildings is Raleigh proper. I think we're going in there. I think that's where the mural is. It's near the big tall buildings. The big tall buildings are very sadly predominantly owned by banks. You know, the usual. Who else can afford to, you know, build a building that big? Which really raises the question why banks need to take so much money from people. Just saying. The dead red laws are good ones though. Like, there's a couple of ways out of being stuck at lights over here. Like, you could just, what I would often do is I'll just filter my way over to the right hand turn lane, because you can turn red on right in America, which is such a sensible rule. I don't know why it doesn't exist. Like, turn left. Oh, what is this person doing? I don't know why turn left on red doesn't exist in Ireland and a lot of... Because Ireland, obviously, we're in the left lane, so turning right on red wouldn't work. I don't know why turn right on red isn't in existence everywhere. Like, oh, that is corrugated and not very pleasant. It should be a rule. Anywhere that you know, drives on the right... And we're in Raleigh. Welcome to Raleigh. Raleigh bicycles. You can piss off. Stay in your lane over there for a minute, huh? Should probably concentrate more on them around those cars around here, because they're all morons. But yeah, Raleigh's very nice. It's called the City of Oaks, and that's because it used to have way more oak trees. But you see, as humans, we do this really cool thing where we don't realise that trees are natural AC/shade. So we chop them all down, right? And then we spend an inordinate amount of money on cooling our houses. Like, even, again, when I was on that hike earlier today, it was actually felt so much cooler. That's Cool Church. It felt so much cooler in the forest because you have all the trees. I don't understand it. And I've never really understood the land clearing principles over here that go on. Oh, that's a bump. It's fine, actually. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Now, I don't exactly know where this mural is, so we might have to do a wee bit of searching. But here's welcome to West Morgan Street. There's a really nice food hall along somewhere. Oh, no turn on. At least I'm in the shade. But yeah, those are some of the big buildings. I don't know. Those are probably just more businesses. These ones are probably apartments, maybe. They look like apartments. They're probably apartments. Why is it no turn on red? That seems unfair. I am unhappy about this. This is my song. Oh, that was fine. Alright, I take it back. But yeah, food hall. Morgan Street Food Hall. If you want to go get food at a nice food hall, Morgan Street Food Hall is the place I would recommend. It's very tasty. Very tasty, and there's lots of options in there. So really, you can find something for everyone. If we ride past it, I'll point it out. I'm not sure how we're going to ride past it. Like I said, I just have to keep an eye out for this mural because I don't actually know where it is. I might have just ridden past it and everyone right now is typing furiously like, you idiot, you didn't see it? It was back there. I hope it still exists also. Good chance, you know, it's been eradicated. Just can't have happiness. Happiness is not okay. Oh, there it is. We found it. Basically, what I'm saying is I am a literal genius. No one expected this level of geniusness from me, that I could just find this place. Oh. No public parking up to 5 p.m. So it doesn't look like we're going to get the bike in for a photo, unfortunately. But that's okay. Oh, there's more here. That's cool. I was actually okay. We're doing two murals at once. So you see this one here. Prices are now patients, right? Power to the patients. I 100% agree. John Lewis Bridge. So that's John Lewis, who was a huge proponent for the freedom movement, obviously, and also human rights, basically, people's rights for people, normal people. And you know, there's gathering momentum to rename a particular bridge after him, which is what that's about. We'll go back here again. We'll go back here. It's such a pity that they're behind car parking spaces you can't see. Beachfront Opportunities 2050. I'm guessing that's a joke. But yeah, there's that mural. That's really well done, actually, and really well preserved. And obviously that one's really cool too. Maybe I won't show you the other mural. Maybe I should edge you. Oh, and then I think that one is obviously diversity and inclusion, which all of these very cool messages. I just can't get the bike in for a photo in front of any of them, unfortunately, because there's lots of other things. Sad. I do have an idea though. I think we can probably... I think there's space here. Bikes don't take up much space. I'm going to go right here, and I won't ever be very far away in case I need to move it. But I think this works. Also, I put on my indoor stand onto the bike for the purposes of this. So...
I just pulled out the spot back there if you want it.
Oh, thank you, yeah. Appreciate it. What a nice gentleman. Thank you, sir, in the Mazda 3. So, Tall Ross, Cooley High, Maceo Parker, Little Brother, Thelonious Monk, don't know who that is, Max Roach, Betty Davis, John Coltrane, North Carolina Jazz Giants. That's obviously the name of the mural. Jazz Monsters. That is from a Brooklyn artist called Kevin Lyons. The John Lewis artist is by Jalel Ronan. And like I said, John Lewis is a figure of the civil rights era, served for more than 3 decades in Congress, and is known for his unwavering fight for equality in the 60s. So hats off to him. This one here on the right is the Trophy Brewing Pride mural. So it's a Pride mural. It doesn't say who did that one, but that's also very cool. No, I can't. But the other ones are also very cool. If I do manage to find out who was the artiste for them, I will stick that up too. But they do actually look quite new, so that article I read might have been older. Now I am melting, so I'm going to take off everything, stop recording, have a drink of water, and head home, because I think we've been recording for a while now, have we? If you watched, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this mural tour. This is obviously Trophy Brewing here, which I'll have to come back to and give them some business, because very cool murals, good messages and everything else. And yeah, that's all I have to say on it. So, as always, very special thank you to all my patrons. I appreciate you all. You're all wonderful, wonderful humans. And yeah, until next time, thank you again for watching. Adios. Outro crew. Which mural is your favourite? You know, I think the colours of the Jazz Giants one is really cool, and I also really like it covers the whole wall. But I think the Power to the Patience is topical, and I do like that one. I like all of them. They're all very cool. They're all really well done. Nice colours. Actually, the John Lewis one, his face is amazingly well done. I don't know. I'm not an arty person at all. I can't create art, so it always impresses me. But yeah, let me know which one you prefer, and do you like murals in general? I think they're cool, and every city should have them, in my opinion. All right, bye, outro crew.